Hi everyone, I'm Gautam aka the Seeker of Wisdom. I'm a manifestation coach, and in this video, we're going to be talking about shifting states and a little bit about patience as well. So, before I do so, I'd like to remind you guys I am available for coaching. I offer hourly, monthly, email, and DM coaching. The link is in the bio. I also have a Facebook group where I upload content and answer your questions. You can post anonymously as well. Plus I also have a mailing list where I'll be posting my latest offerings as well, so be sure to check all of those out. Link is in the bio. So without further ado, let's get started. So shifting states, it's been a topic that I've been wanting to talk about for a while now, and I feel like it has a lot to do with patience as well. It's one of those ways that I think people can cope with when it comes to being patient with their manifestations, right? So I just wanted to briefly talk about both, and so a state really is all about a state of mind, basically, right? So if you are, say, wanting to be rich, right, you first have to embody that state of mind. Okay, so if, let's say, like, you are not in a great place when it comes to finance, right, and financial freedom and abundance is your goal, then you start to embody that state. Now what does that mean, right? Like when people say, like, okay, embody that state, well, people are like, well, that's cool, but what does that actually look like? And I'm here to explain that right now. So let's talk about the example about the finance, right? So let's say you are financially not so in a great place and you want to be abundant and basically be financially be free. It's a way of thinking. Okay, so you think to yourself, okay, if I were to be financially be abundant, and if I were to have all that I want financially, would this be bothering me the way it does right now? Right? And the answer is no. Why? Because you have have everything that you desire. You are already in that state, right? You're already in that mindset. So this wouldn't bother you because you know you can resolve it, right? So that's the state, right, we are talking about here. It's a way of thinking, it's a thought process. Okay, so even if you don't have that thought process, right, if I were to give you $1 billion, it's not going to last you because you don't have the thought process of a rich person, right? So this is why when we talk about like lottery winnings and everything, like a person can lose their money really quickly because they are not in that state, right? You can hear like about businessmen losing their fortunes and they make it back really quickly, right? Why? Because they are in that state, they are in that mindset of a very rich person. They see themselves as such, even if they don't have a dime to their name, right? But when it comes to a person with like a very poor financial mindset to them, even if they get like $10,000 or $1 million or $1 billion, what happens is that they lose it really quickly because of the fact that they are not, their state is not in alignment with what they are receiving, right? They could have manifested that money, and you don't have to be in that state to manifest a lot of things, right? You can just affirm, or you can just briefly think about it and it can come to you, sure. But like with SP, it's not just about manifesting it, it's about sustaining it, growing it, and thriving in it. That's what I think where a state really really comes useful is not for manifesting it per se, but it's more of like sustaining it, right? And a lot of it has to do with like self concept too. But I think just the way you think about the things, and your relationship to it, right? That's state in my opinion, and that's what we want to develop as well. Let's talk about SP, for example. When it comes to SP, like when I say embody that state of love, what does that mean? So say your SP in the 3D says like, okay, don't call me anymore, we are done. We're not going to be together, I don't see this happening. I just can't see us being together and stuff like that, right? So if you are there right now, or if you have been there, what does that state of love look like for you? You imagine a scene where you guys are together and you guys are in a loving, thriving, caring relationship basically, and you embody that right now. And if you are there in your mind, ask yourself, if you are in that loving state right now, would whatever my SP just told me bother me the way it does right now? And the answer is no. Why? Because you are in a loving, caring, thriving relationship. Okay, So you don't let that bother you. You don't stalk your SP on social media, because that's not what you will be doing when you're coming from a state of love. It's the thought process there, right? And if you find yourself doing all those things, that simply means that you are not in the end state of things yet, right? Because, like what Neville says again about the new man example, right? You have not completely embodied the new man. And until you have completely embodied the new man, like whatever you try to do will, not be 100%. And this is exactly why, like, a lot of hot and cold behaviors happen, as I've said earlier before. And this is something that you have to cultivate for sure, but it's definitely worth it, because this is not just for like SP or anything. This is for like lifetime, right? Whatever you are doing with regards to state, once you can embody the thought process consistently, at one point it just becomes natural. And that's the point that we are all trying to achieve as conscious manifestors, is for a lot of these things, when it comes to deliberate manifesting, to become natural, to become a point where you don't have to monitor your thoughts to think a certain way, right? It comes so naturally to you. So with SP again, regardless of what they say, you embody that state. So you don't, sit down and micro analyze any of their texts or anything like that, because you wouldn't be doing all those things if you were to be together with your SP, right? So every time when you feel like doing certain things, you simply ask this question to yourself: is this coming from the end state of mind? And if the answer is no, you consciously take the effort to shift your perspective there. That's the work you have to do, right? A lot of people are like, okay, what do I have to do to get my SP back? What do I have to do to get my SP back? And they're always focusing on the 3D of things, right? Whereas this is all about what's happening within you, right? So instead of asking what should I do on the outside, ask yourself, what should I do on the inside? How should I change my thoughts, right? How can I, think better? What thought processes should I be thinking? What thought processes should I be letting go, right? That's an important question, because you can embody new thought processes without letting go of the old ones, and that will cause a lot of hot and cold here. So you ask yourself, what are the thoughts that are not serving me here that I have to let go, right? Because embodying the end state means letting go of the old beliefs, right, that don't serve you anymore, and also about embodying new beliefs which serves you. But it's also about letting go of things as well, and that's something that a lot of people don't really realize at times, is that you when we talk about letting go, we're not asking you to let go of the desire, we're asking you to let go of everything that doesn't serve you, in this case thought processes. So yeah, I just want to make that really clear there. So when it comes to SP, like embodying the end state might look like just having faith in them, that they will come back to you, that they are not going to go anywhere. Having coming from the end state, right? It's like you really believe in that love. So regardless of if you see movement or you don't see movement, by the way, there's always movement regardless of if you don't see it or not. It's just that from where you stand you might not be able to see it, but there's always movement, so intend for that. But regardless of that, right, you believe in your love, right? You believe in your SP's ability to reach back to you, and you believe in your abilities to manifest this life for yourself, right? That's what the end state of thinking looks like, right? So you're not doubting, you're not fearing anything. It's just you are in a complete state of bliss and happiness, in the sense that this is already a done deal. So you just relax and you just go by your day, and you are just letting the bridge of incidents unfold. And as you take every step in your life, that some way somehow this is in alignment with my goals, and I'll only be able to connect the dots when I look back. So I'm not even going to bother trying to connect the dots looking forward, right? And this might sound very scary for some people, but the way I see it is, it's very relaxing. Because think about this way: you don't have to do anything in the 3D. All you have to do is simply embody a state of mind and go by your life, right? And it will just come into you, right? It will just come into your life. Like, how easy is that, right? And all we are doing is really breaking our old programming in the process of doing so, and just letting things flow. That's all you have to do. I think it's our programming from society that, oh, we have to do something to get something, right? And frankly speaking, with that kind of mindset, like, we are not the ones profiting off of that, right? There are a lot of people who profit off of that except us, right? Corporations, companies, they profit off of that kind of mindset. If you do something, you get something, right? And without that, I think a lot of workforce wouldn't exist. And so we have been, primed from, we were children to believe that you have to do something in your reality in order to get something, right? And yes, there is action involved, but it's more of like unconscious action, right? Guided action that you don't even know that you're being led to that. It's that kind of action. It doesn't feel like an action towards your goals, right? So that's how it looks like. Some people think like inspired action comes to you with like thoughts and everything, and sometimes it does, but sometimes, as you go by life, you just get presented opportunities as you embody that state consistently over a period of time, right? The period of time can vary from desire to desire, and that also links to how your self concept is. I've talked about this in one of my self concept videos where I say you have different self concepts for different aspects of your life, so be sure to check that out if you want to learn more about that. But basically the idea is that how you think about yourself is a key factor with regards to what you're manifesting. So that also plays a huge role in your state of mind, right? So if you have a poor self concept with regards to money, then you're not going to think, well, of course I can do this. You're going to have some doubts, so you have to work through those and really affirm and persist in the new assumptions in order to let it unfold in your life. So again, it's not just about manifesting it, it's also about keeping it. So working on the state of your mind, it's really going to help you in the long term, right? Don't just think about the micro perspective here. Think long term, think big, right? How is this going to serve me for a lifetime? When you come at it from that perspective, you really cultivate a sense of like patience. And that brings me to the next one, patience, right? A lot of people ask like, okay, when is this going to come? How, right? So the when sometimes really bugs people a lot, because they are constantly seeing like success stories. Oh, my SP just texted me, guys, and of course you'll see all the comments there, and I've talked about this, so I'm not going to go back into that anymore. But and it really, like, when I see those kinds of things, it's like I wish they saw this differently. And what I mean is that sometimes I'll ask my clients, like, sometimes they'll say same things like, I wish it was here. And the one thing that I ask them is that sometimes, if this were to be here right now, like at this very moment, if the SP came knocking your door right now, will you be prepared? And a lot of them are like, oh God, no. There we go, right? So why are you saying no? Why do you not feel prepared, right? So try to address those things in the meantime, right? It's different reasons for different people, right? Some are thinking, well, I'm still getting over the fact of what he or she did to me in the past, or sometimes it's more like I need to be ready, mentally be prepared for this, or there are a plethora of reasons as to why someone may not feel ready. But the key thing here is that they don't feel ready. If I ask them, like, if the person were to show up right now, would you be ready? And the answer is no for a lot of people. Not for everyone, but for a lot of people. So for them, what I would say is that yes, it's coming. In the meantime, work on your mental preparedness. Use this time. This is also serving you. That's what a lot of people get, is that time delay, so to speak, is also serving you, right? So dwell in that more, dwell in the end scenes more, dwell in your imaginal scenes more, craft it out, add details to it, have fun with it, really enjoy the process of having inner conversations and stuff like that with your SP. Think about what will you be doing, where will you be going, and plan all those things out, and really start embodying the state of love now, right? Instead of waiting for them to arrive and then embodying that. No, you do it right now, and when they come, it's just natural for you to be in that state, right? So use this so-called time delay to really prepare yourself mentally, to sharpen your swords, so to speak, right? Use this time to embody that person, the ideal person you'd like to be, right? Work on yourself, work on your hobbies, right? Don't let this time go to waste. They are coming, yes, Like if your Amazon package, you know it's coming, like would you be waiting for it to enjoy the rest of the things in your life? No. And time doesn't come back, in the sense that once you experience this moment, it's gone, so to speak, right? So enjoy all the time that you have. Don't make your enjoyment conditional, based on like a position, a job position, or SP or anything like that, right? Be unconditionally be happy, right? And really enjoy that time. Don't be too focused on the how or when, right? It is coming. Have that faith and keep going. Some may take months, some may take weeks, some may take days. It doesn't matter. As long as you're embodying that state, you wouldn't even feel the need to ask such questions. That's the beauty of it, right? When you are completely embodying that state, you wouldn't be prompted to ask, wait, where is it? And some people are like, okay, I like the 4D, but I really want it in 3D. And that thought is exactly what's sabotaging it coming into 3D. I really want it in 3D. What message does it tell you subconsciously? It's not here yet. I really, really need it because I don't have it, right? And all these kinds of things. So again, words matters a lot. How what you say reflects a lot about what's going within you. So that's one thing, right? And another way you can cultivate patience is through having faith, right? If you are reading success stories, oftentimes you will see that it didn't just happen in a day. Sometimes it took weeks. The person had to affirm and persist. They had to work on themselves, and oftentimes it came to them in the most unexpected of ways. So be excited in the sense that you are going to be surprised. So let the excitement fill you, right, as you're going by your day, because this could be the very day your SP reaches out to you, and you never know, right? Go into that way, and also set the intentions, right? Set the intention that your SP is reaching out today, and even if it doesn't happen, you know what? Do an imaginal scene which implies that. Revise that scene at the end of the day and keep going, right? A lot of people like to ask that. Oh, what if it doesn't happen? What if I intend for something and it doesn't happen? Revise the scene, keep going, keep going. That's always something I tell my clients, is to keep going. You march on, right? If it's not the end that you desire, you keep going. That's it. There's no other way with this but go through it, right? And it might seem a little frustrating to some people, or keep going, but no, right? Like if you can spend so much of your time thinking unfavorable things and manifesting all those things that you did which doesn't serve you, I feel that honestly it's worth spending your time dedicating to thinking a certain set of favorable thoughts which are going to serve you in the long run, right? So when you see it from that perspective, this is all worth it. And you're not doing anything in the 3D consciously, right? Everything is happening behind the scenes and you are being led to it. So this is literally someone like leading you to it, and all you have to do is that believe that this person is doing it for you. And who is this person we are talking about? It's your higher self, your subconscious mind, the God within you, right? So whatever techniques that you do, inner conversations, affirmations, scripting, and anything else, right? You just keep going, in the sense that you assume that assumption regardless of what you see, and you go. And that is really, really going to help you a lot. And also, you can ask for a sign if you want. I know some people love to do that. Show me a sign that it's working, and sometimes it works in the sense that they'll see like SP's name, or something that's related to SP. Let's talk about this in the money sense as well. Like if you, let's say, have a debt, how is this going to be resolved? And and with money comes a lot of stress for a lot of people, because there might be a deadline and there are stakes involved and everything. You simply assume that it's paid off, right? It has been paid off. Every time the thought comes to you, it has been paid off, right? You will be prompted to ask, but how? Simply remind yourself it's paid off, and you go by your life, right? Do what you have to do, right? But you go by your life. Don't let that consume you. Instead, what you let fill your mind is basically the thought of abundance and thriving. It may take a while to get there, and you may ask some from time to time when, but that's where the work comes in. That's why you have to put the self-discipline in and really reassure yourself about the idea of it's already done. If I can see it in my mind, it's already done, and all I have to do is keep walking with faith, right? So long answer short, right? The way you persist through, like like how you wait for your manifestations, right? How you wait, you're not exactly waiting because you're already in your desire, like you're already living in, if you are in the end state of mind, but how you go through 3D in the meantime is through faith, right? You simply have faith and you keep moving regardless of what you see. You don't let that deter you in any way. Instead, you come at it from a place of, I'm the creator of my reality, my current circumstances do not matter, and as such, I'm going to walk with faith because I know my desires are a done deal. And one thing that I'll say for this is that I don't have to discuss it with anyone, because I know for a fact that when people who are not familiar with the laws and everything like that, they're going to be like, are you, what are you doing, like, are you just waiting, aren't you going to do anything? And it's not that you're doing anything, it's more of like, you know that the bridge of incidents will unfold in the perfect of ways and you're having faith in it, right? So it comes back to faith. That's how I cope with it, at least, right? Like if there's a quote unquote time delay, firstly, I don't focus on it, right? I remove my attention, because what I give my attention to thrives, right? It's like taking a huge like beam of light and shining it to a plant and watching it grow, right? And I only devote my beam of light to that which I want it to grow, right? If I don't want something to grow, I'm not going to shine my beam of light there. My beam of light being my attention, right? And the plant being my desires. So I focus only on the things that I want. The things that don't serve me, I'm not going to even focus on it and acknowledge it. And so I'm not even going to acknowledge anything unfavorable. Instead, what I'm going to do is focus and devote all my attention to that which I want, and I'm going to do that with faith, and know that it is already a done deal, and I'm just walking through the bridge of incidents right now. If you could reach that level of conviction, right? And it's like a muscle, right? Like you build it over a period of time. No one is born with that kind of conviction. And sometimes what 3D shows is so, it seems so overwhelmingly real that we can't help but almost react to it in a way. But the thing is that like when those things happen, that's when the true so-called test comes in, of like the strength, the mental strength that you have. And you basically simply say like, no, this is false evidence appearing real. I'm not even going to acknowledge it, right? I'm only going to think about and dwell in my future. That's the way you come at it from. With debt and everything, like you can always say like it's a done deal, and you keep going, and intend for the solution to show up as quickly as possible, as soon as you can. And and then when you see something or when an opportunity comes, you will naturally be inclined to act on it, and it will unfold in the beautiful of ways, right? If you can't imagine it every single day, what you can do is you can script it down and read it. That's a way it could work for you. You can write down your affirmations, but please don't tire yourselves out. You can just write once or twice and just read it. So yeah, that's how I deal with patience, is to really embody that state of mind as much as I can, remove any attention that I have towards the unfavorable things, and just walk into the world with faith, right? Because there are some things that won't immediately manifest, but at the same time, we don't have to be bummed out by that, right? All we have to do is simply walk with faith, and everything that we want is already ours. So yeah, guys, that's all from me. So again, with states, it's just a thinking process. It's just a way you think. So with like health, for example, start to embody the state of a healthy person, right? How do you embody a state of a healthy person, right? Like you always see yourself as a healthy being, and ask yourself like, is what I'm doing right now, is it coming from a state of a healthy person, right? And if the answer is yes, by all means go with it. Intend for yourself to be a healthy person. Watch your thoughts when you are shifting states, from especially from an unfavorable to a favorable state. Watch your thoughts, be aware of them, so that it becomes easy for you to change them over a period of time. And that's when like exercises, like I mentioned, like you write things down and striking it off and writing an opposite favorable statement. That's when it comes useful. So yeah, guys, so that's all from my end. Thank you so much for watching the entire video, guys. If this video resonated with you, be sure to drop a like and a comment down below. Also share it on your Instagram story so that it may reach more people. Once again, guys, thank you so much for all the love and support you guys have been giving me. So thank you there. And I'm wishing you guys a very happy holidays, and stay safe and happy manifesting, guys. Take care, and talk to you soon. Bye.